Alrighty guys, this is another C2 first ride, and today we're riding the GSXR 600. You guys know the deal by now. This is Chaseontwowheels, and thanks to Motorsports, I'm going to be riding the GSXR 600 today. I've never ridden the GSXR before. The only super sport I've ever ridden is an R6, so this is going to be the first time. Check all that shit out. This whole little thing looks interesting. Okay, so let's get her going. That was weird. Okay, so I obviously did something weird with turning it on, so that's a fantastic start. That's a fantastic start right off the bat. It's only 80. Got the whole GSXR blue with the faux carbon fiber look going on. Alright, so let's get this thing going. Well, I'm excited to finally be riding a bike like I'm used to. I'm used to the super sports. Definitely not used to the GSXR though. Wow, that gear shifter is insane. It's low, holy shit. Alright, that's neutral. And of course I can go. Alright. Okay. So, first impressions on riding the super sport that's not like my R6. I mean, I'm gonna let it heat up before I give it some good decent gas. But the huge difference with this bike is the seating position. I'm much more like, I'm much lower and pushed forward. Like, it's really hard to explain. Like, the seating position on the R6 is totally different than this. It's got really decent flickability. This is the GSXR 600, by the way. Yeah, I feel like on this GSXR I'm a lot more hunched over. Like, a lot more hunched over. Also, I need to note that these bikes I ride most of the time have 0 miles. So I do have to go a little easy on them most of the time, and just to be safe for me and everything. I feel like I don't like the seating position at all. I guess the best way to describe it is, on my R6, I sit up really high on top of the bike. And you definitely don't sit like that with this bike. You sit more of like, more lower into the bike, which gives you this like hunched over position. Like, my back is all hunched down to fit into the position that this bike wants me to be in. And I feel like the gear shifter is angled differently to match that forwardy, hunched over feeling. I'm sure you'd like get used to it, but just right off the bat, I don't know if I like it a lot. What gear are we in? I do like the gear indicator. That's pretty neat. You know, if you just totally forgot where you were in the gears, that would be really nice. One thing I feel like on this GSXR is that I feel like I'm having to work for everything I get out of it. I don't know, like if I want to shift gears, I gotta angle my foot differently, and to sit on it correctly, I have to be in this weird hunched over position. This is not a bike I would want to ride in the mountains at all, because by the time I got back, I would have to go to a chiropractor. Which sounds weird, seeing as though I'm used to the... Alright, so downshifting feels good. Oh, that bird almost hit me. That's awesome. I mean, I'm in 8,000, and I don't feel the engine kicking in like I do, like I would with the R6. Even then, man, even then, I don't really, I don't know. I feel like this bike might have a lot more, I think this bike has a lot more power throughout, but I don't feel like it has, as much, that was a big old speed bump. I don't feel like this bike has as much power in the rev range, like not the rev range, but in the power zone, power band, God, words, things, stuffing, yes. When I hit the power band, which I imagine is around 8 grand, I don't feel like that rip off that the Yamaha R6 has. The R6, when you hit 8,000, you are a rocket, and you are not going to stop being a rocket. I feel like this bike might have a little more overall power, but I mean, it's good and bad. You know, it's a good thing to have power all the time, especially from a get-go. But when you want to get on it and you want to launch, this might, I mean, wow, I just don't like where the foot peg is positioned on this thing. I mean, maybe you'd get used to it. I feel like this would be a really good bike for somebody who wants to get a super sport, because it doesn't have that get in your power band and launch, because I feel like that could mess a couple people up. I feel like this bike has a little bit smoother of a throttle than the R6 does. Yeah, I'm so much lower on this bike. Holy sheesh. Let's pull into the old gas station that we always pull into. I'll let you guys give a look at it and hear the engine. Hopefully we can turn it back on. Alrighty. So we've got the brand new GSXR 600 and the stock blue, like the stereotypical blue. I'm not a fan of that front. The front looks like a fat ass. Like somebody's just fat ass just chilling. That's what I feel like the front reminds me of. But, I mean, a lot of people like the GSXRs. I don't like the seating. I don't like sitting that low in the engine at all. Much bigger of a fan of, like, sitting on top of the bike. I'll rev it up for you so you can hear the stock engine. Should probably put it in neutral, that would help. Oh man. Oh, so you have to hold the brakes in, okay. Alright, well, now we know. Alright, so this is the stock exhaust on a GSXR 600. The exhaust sounds meatier, sounds throatier than an R6 does. I'm not a Yamaha fanboy. I do love Yamaha, but you know, I love the SV650. I think that's a stupidly solid bike. I just don't like the way you sit in this thing. It's just weird. I don't like feeling like I'm inside of my bike. Like, I feel like my butt is one with the engine. I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't feel like I have the maneuverability. Compared to how you are on a Yamaha, when you're on top of the bike, I don't know if you're feeling like you're leaning over with the bike more, but I definitely feel more comfortable on a Yamaha, you know, taking a turn harder. I feel much more maneuverable. You know, that's not to say this bike isn't maneuverable. This bike is just as maneuverable as, yeah, it'll dig into a turn for sure, but it's not really about the bike at that point. It's about personal preference, and I like being on top of the bike. If you are the type of guy where you like sitting in the bike, this is a good example of that. This bike, and I think the Ninja 636 is another bike where you really sit low into it. What's happening up in front of me? Some type of shenaniganal type of things. It's just as light as an R6, I feel. I feel like I have as much weight-wise, I have just as much control over it as I would my Yamaha R6. I don't know, I'm just not a fan. I think the big The big difference in this bike, like, because I always hear, like, people say, oh, that bike's completely different. The GSXR 600 is totally different than the Yamaha R6 or the Honda CBR 600. And I've always wondered what the difference between those are. And honestly, you know, the big difference is the seating position and the way the throttle responds. I will note that this bike does have Brembo brakes on it, so that's a thing. So it should have legit braking power, stopping power if you want to be able to call of duty and whatnot. I want to get in a different mode. This thing has modes, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I need to figure that out. I always tell people when they ask me, I get a lot of questions, Chase, what's the best bike to start on? What bike should I get and all this? I get those questions a lot, and one of the things I always say is to go and sit on the bikes. And by sitting on this bike and checking it out, I realize how truthful of a thing that is. Like, if you want to try a bike out, you definitely need to go sit on that thing. That's going to give you the best idea of how the bike's going to feel. Like, definitely. I'm going to play around and try to figure out how to change the modes on this thing, because I don't want to be in like a slow mode and be like, this bike is slow. Well, you're in the slow mode, dumbass. Yep. I'm not sure how to change the modes, guys, so I can't try out the different modes for you. Maybe later on I'll figure out how to change the modes, and I can go and do another test ride on it. For now, it's not really indicating a mode, so I'm not sure what that means, but I mean, it feels like it's got some engine behind it, so I don't feel like it's in any type of slow mode. Oh, this is going to be really fun. Yeah, once you get going, the shifter's not too bad. And I mean, like I said, it fits into this seating position that they have, but I'm just not a fan, man. I'm not a big fan of this seating position. Even though if you had a GSXR, you could straight up time your vlogs. It'd be funny, you can set a timer and have just like a lap. And be like, alright, this vlog has to be 10 minutes. Alrighty. So, final thoughts on the GSXR. I feel like the cluster and everything, that's cool. It's got, you know, the gear indicator, the different modes. It's got all types of fun stuff up there. Seating position is a lot more low and into the bike, which is fine. It is what it is. If you like that, you like it. And the shifter corresponds with the seating position. I'm not a fan of the seating position, so I'm not going to be a fan of the shifter. So I feel like I'm having to, like, I just don't like this position. I don't like the way it puts my back. I like being, like, on top of it, not like, well, I mean, I don't know, tucking in feels pretty good, though. Like, if I was really trying to haul some ass, like, tucking in feels really good, actually. I don't know, maybe this is the bike to tuck in. So yeah, driving the stereotypical squid bike. And I only say that stereotypically because it is stereotypically the bike you see with guys with shorts on and a t-shirt riding around. So I guess guys like that like sitting low into an engine. I don't know. Not my style, but I mean, I'm sure it fits a lot of people. I know a lot of people really love GSXR, so I can't hate on it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's just not my type of bike. Feels like a super solid bike. It has a lot more instrument stuff than my R6 does, so that's cool. You know, and from what I hear with the GSXRs, nobody gets a 600. Everybody always gets a 750 because it's just a couple thousand more and you get a hell of a lot more engine. So that might be the better option for you guys if you're looking into a GSXR. This has been another CTW First Rides, guys, on a GSXR 600, brought to you by Mountain Motorsports. If you want to jump over to their Facebook page and give them a like, they're the reason I even am able to do these videos for you guys. So show them some love. Also, liking and commenting always helps the channel out, regardless of the video. But if you like these first rides, let me know, and we'll try to get them going for you more often if I don't get hit by this Jeep when I get frustrated and go, did I put it into first? Oh, I did. Look at that. Getting used to it. Day one. Shifting is really smooth, though. Alright guys, so you guys know the deal. Into the first ride video of the GSXR 600. Let me know in the comments below what bike you want to see me on next. We'll try to make that happen. This has been Chase on Two Wheels for a seat you to a first ride. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys. My butt already hurt.